by none other than Johnnie Cole, and I'm Rocky, his trusty sidekick. We about to get into some real good conversation today, Coach. There's a lot of things happening. I thought we were in the offseason of HBCU football, but it seems like this thing never stopped. Me and you had planned to take a break for a few weeks, but we back at it, Coach. So before we get into any of this, how you doing, Coach?
I'm good, man. Everything's good. I had a great holiday, man. Got a little sick first part of the day, but was able to finish it real strong, man. Feeling live, man. I watched some great football this past weekend, and that gets my bones working in my mind. I take my pad out, Rocky, and I look at some of the plays that they run, and some of them I ask why.
Yeah, Coach. Coach, I'm gonna say this before we even get started, man. I just want to have this conversation with you, Coach. Last few days I've been trying to get in contact with you. You keep telling me you're gonna call me back. You're busy, and then when I ask you what's going on, man, you're so tight-lipped. Coach, is there anything you can tell me about what's going on with you? And that smile on your face is not for no reason, I know. So tell me something, Coach. Give me something, because I know you got some things working. Well, and I just want to know what they are, Coach.
Well, I want to, you be the first to know, or our group be the first to know. I am in talk with some people, about some direction that they want to go and would like to bring me in as an offensive coordinator. I've already talked to, another school where things, we had a great time of talking. And, I want to thank Eddie Robinson and his staff. We had a great time talking and trying to see if we, both teams meet. So, unfortunately that didn't happen. But, a lot of it, Rocky, is about my choice, where I'm at in my life, things that I want. Do I want to coach again? Yes, I do. But I don't feel like I need to start over. I don't want to be sleeping in the coach's office. I don't want to be, making $30,000 or $40,000, $50,000 a year. That ain't what I want to do. So I'm in constantly in negotiation. I'm not desperate. I do want to coach, but I am into some conversation with some people, and hopefully that it all comes together and it sounds good, looks good, and then we can make it work.
All right, Coach. I'm glad you were able to clear that up, Coach. I've been asking you all kind of conversations, and you ain't been able to be direct with me, but I understand now. You in negotiations and you're talking over things with several different organizations or whatever. And so, would you be willing to say, is it in the HBCU realm or is it outside HBCUs, or is there a combination, or what?
Yeah, well, it's in the HBCU realm, but, sometimes, you got to be silent, about it, because as you know, I'm no spring chicken. When I come through the door, everybody knows me. I can't come in with the mask on. They either gonna know my swag, or they gonna know my walk, or they gonna know my voice. And unfortunately, there's some people out there that got bad intentions. But I've passed the 50 state background check, and I'm working now in the school system, that I don't care to say. But I got a lot of positive things about me, a lot of positive things that people say, and if you want to win and coach, if you want a guy that can put some points up, some numbers up, coach, that's me, So again, as much as I want to coach, it's going to be my choice at the end of the day, and we talk about numbers and all that kind of thing. So, but I'm happy to say my phone is ringing.
Oh, well, Coach, let me ask you this. After being so close, after being consumed by the game for probably 30 years, Coach, taking a slight break, and then coming, considering, because I'm not gonna make a decision for you at this point, considering coming back into the game, Coach, will you have is the game the same? Is the game different? Is there a different perspective that you have about coaching in general? Is your style going to change, or you know, what have you learned?
Well, you know, the thing about it, you know, really what I learned is that I was way ahead of before my time, you know, and all they've done from go from a regular formation with a tight end, two backs to the wide out to just spread everybody out. Blocking scheme's the same. You're still going to have counter blocking. First man is kicking, second man is going up inside. You're still going to have power blocking. You're still going to have some lead blocking. You know, it's basically all the same. You're going to have some pass pro and some pass protection. You know, and at the end of the day, it's about, sometimes it's about the Jimmys and Joes, and sometimes it's about the X's and O's, you know. But, you know, I watched the game. I'm very in tune to the game. As you know, that I started refereeing high school games, so I'm on the field, you know, and I'm actually seeing it and looking at things happen, you know, and learning about refereeing the game. And then, I got friends all over the country that I got huddle accounts. So I'm very close to the game. I mean, you know, I got a book that I write down all the plays that I see when I'm watching on film. You know, I've seen a couple new stuff, you know, for instance, you know, a guy motions, look like he's going over. And in those times when I was there, he would just go past the center and then come right back. But I liked it when he go past the center and then he runs that behind motion back to it. I thought that was a nice touch. That's something new that I seen. And I get the kick out of it. But Coach, man, I mean, besides that, you still got to run and tackle, you know, and play hard-nosed football. You know what I'm saying?
Coach, and last thing before we talk about this, before we end, you know, talking about you, because we know it, everybody want to get into, we got to talk about TSU, and we also got to definitely discuss the situation over at FAMU. But before we leave the conversation talking about the opportunities that are presenting themselves to you and what you, just to say this, Coach, are you going to bring back the hobo offense?
No doubt, Coach. That's you know, and I think and I guess I can ask my fans, are y'all missing the hobo offense? Coach, we used to put them up, you know, 38, 39 a game, Coach. You know, running the triple reverses, double passes, inside zone, you know, throwing the flood route. I mean, you know, it was just exciting, you know, seeing kids run on the field and run off the field. I don't know if you even know that I'm the one is the reason for a referees making offenses get defense time to run their defense zone. I ran the no huddle offense back in the 90s, Coach. I actually played in the no huddle offense with Willie Totten and Jerry Rice, you know. And like I said, back in the 90s at Tennessee State, I would go no back, which is, if you don't know what no back is, it's 5 wide receivers. Let's say we catch a pass down to the 5. We practice where we'll wait to 15 seconds left, and then I run my bigs on the field. So when you see me with 5, you run your dime package, then I wait to 15, and I run my big package on. Where I'm putting my extra tackle, my big boy in the back, and then you stuck out there with, you know, 5, 6 defensive backs. Shit, we walk in the end zone. I'm the one done that, Coach. And but hey, it's, you know, it's just an exciting time for me and my family, and I just want to make sure that whoever or if we can come to terms about me coming to coach there, that you know, things work itself out, you know, because I'll come to win, Coach, and I ain't never lost nowhere.
Well, Coach, you know, 2 things I'm glad to hear. First, I'm glad to hear that you're excited about the opportunities that are presenting itself. And I'm also glad to hear that it's in HBCU football, Coach. Because I think with the exodus of Willie Simmons, your level of innovation and coaching is something that, I mean, he brought a level of innovative offense to the table as well. He's moving on. And then, you know, with you having the opportunity to come back in, you can kind of infuse it with some more offensive innovation as well. So, Coach, I'm just glad HBCU football, you know.
And I want to take this time to thank the people who's ringing my phone, who I'm talking with, because they had to make some choices. you know, and I just want to thank them and just kind of just kind of sitting and waiting for the right chance. So you know, this give me an opportunity to thank them publicly. And hey, it's time for some hobo offense.
All right, Coach. With that being said, hey, I'm not gonna ask you anything specific about your alma mater and their opening, right?
Yeah.
But we have to discuss it.
Yes.
You know, you're an insider. You're deeply entrenched with the Texas Southern fan base, alumni. Even you still have friends on the staff and in administration. What's going on over there, Coach?
Well, you know, Coach, it's coming from the top now, you know, and evidently, you know, we had a communication breakdown somewhere, you know. But let me say this as a Texas Southern graduate, because nobody can talk about Texas Southern unless you went to school there. To me, evidently, they are trying to make this choice the right choice, and I get that, you know, and I think that's important. That the athletic director, the administration, the people in hand is saying this is a big choice for us. Am I in agreement of how it fell out and how it went back? No, but I'm a Texas Southern guy. I believe in our administration. Whatever they had to do it for a reason. You know, it's not for me to question. It's not for me to say it's wrong. You know, I've been in the business. They on a time clock. I understand about the recruiting part of it, you know, but I understand also too that I've been in that seat. And in the 1AA program, you ain't got to rush to start talking about recruiting. You ain't got to rush. You know what I mean? I think they still got a window. Is that window closing for some opportunities for some good players? Yes. That's why it's important that who they get in there can open them windows back up. You know, it's a different process, Coach. But I'm glad that they were able to come to terms and relook at things. You know, I feel for Fred McNair being a former coach myself. You know, and you don't know, they might come back to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that part of it, but I know the general part of it that this new board that we got is really into trying to do things right by Texas Southern University.
Yeah, Coach, it's you know, for a guy who's not familiar with the business of HBCU hiring and firing, you know, this seems like a really unorganized situation. You know, to have a coach that have the coach selected, what goes back, if you go look at our show 5 weeks ago, Coach, you were able to announce that the job was Fred McNair's if he wanted. You knew that. And with you being, you know, outside the program, you sure it was certain that people inside the program knew that Fred McNair was the guy too. And to get to the finish line of consummating the contract and for the board to have dissension to the point to where they actually put a pause. And I think they're at the brink of reopening the position back up. There has to be some disorganization or some, you know, some lack of communication going on. Because again, I say, Coach, you mentioned this. If you mentioned it on the show 5 weeks ago, you knew it probably sooner than that, right?
Right.
You don't hold a official position with the program, but there are a lot of TSU fans that watch this program, so they knew Fred McNair was coming. And to get to this point and decide that they want a do-over, what do you think influences a decision like that?
Well, let me say this to you. You know, all that on the outside and fanfare and the Christmas tree and got lights and this is the way you put the lights on and all that. You know, all that sounds good. You know, but I always been a guy that's saying, whatever looks right, whatever smells right might not be right. Are we more interested in being right or getting it right? And I think in this case, and hopefully at the end that we're getting it right. And I just got to believe in the administration that they're getting it right. They don't want to be right by everybody. They want to get it right. And our AD, Kevin Granger, he's a part of it as well. Maybe there was a step he missed, but as again, being an alumnus of the university, I got to believe in the university is trying to get it right. And besides, Coach, hell, they didn't choose me, man.
Hey, Coach. Hey, now I didn't want to put you on the spot, but
the only one in the history.
Again, that's a great point, Coach Cole. Is that I didn't want to put you out there. Is your being considered a coincidence with this whole thing being held up? I won't ask you that question directly, but people can surmise whatever they want. Is that you're still available? The only SWAC championship coach TSU's ever had. And
again, that's good, Rocky. And then hit your money machine. Yeah. all that's so true, Coach. All that is.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, at the end of the day, you're the only one to bring in championships, Coach, and that's what like one of the things about when I talk to you all the time, you accept winning as an accomplishment, right? But right. Your individual standard is championships, right? Winning is okay, but championships is the standard that you set for yourself. And that's a pretty lofty, high standard to go to a school like when you went to TSU, let's just talk about this, Coach. What kind of condition was the program in when you went to TSU back in 2007, I believe you arrived there?
The program was horrible. It was 4-40. It only had like 44 scholarships. They hadn't won a game. I was taking over from a 0-11 football season. The only winning season they had was like in '89, something like that. We was terrible. We were at the bottom, in FCS, and the kids they had. But winning championship is just a quarter of my philosophy and what I want. The other half, that's a quarter of the championship. But if I'm not graduating kids, which I have everywhere I've been, at Tennessee State, we had a 94% graduation rate. Alabama State, we had a 95% graduation. Lane College, the same thing. And then, of course, at Texas Southern, my football program was the only program in the 10 years since they started the APR, which is the graduation rate, that we as a school made those numbers. And those kids went on to graduate even after I had left. So those are big accomplishments as well, because I am a scholar athlete. I have my master's in education, undergrad in civil engineering. I'm certified to teach K through 12. My children went to Texas Southern. One graduated with her master's, in administration. And I got my other daughter's graduating in May. So, I come from an educational background, and I believe in that. And all that to me entwines to a good football program, that you got to have. And I think I'm a teenage changer. I change young African-American men's way of doing things, and they buy into that. And one of the other biggest things is I galvanized the alumni, at Texas Southern. They never came back. They always had an excuse here, but they know they couldn't give me that excuse because I walked that walk. I walked down Tiger Walk. So I was able to reach out and get monies. We was We were, big crowds at the stadiums, so that makes money. Season tickets was at an all-time high. Enrollment was an all-time high. I had coaching. I had Texas Southern University guys, former players on my staff as well. I had former Texas Southern graduates, kids play for me, on my team. So it was a whole Texas Southern University effort to get us back to, and I shouldn't say get us back, because Rocky, we're a perennial losing program. Texas Southern is probably, since I've been there in 1981 and even before that, might have had 5 winning seasons. And I got 2 of those with a championship. So yeah, we're a perennial losing program.
And Coach, you just, when you talk about 81, we're here in 2024 now, Coach.
Yeah.
That spans a time of, over 32 years by my count, Coach. And you're talking about 5 winning seasons?
Something like 5, 6 winning seasons, Coach.
And 1 championship season for which you were the head coach of that particular program.
Yes. Can you imagine how the alumni felt being able to put their T-shirt on? Coach, and here's the crazy part, right? I was the only winning football program in the city of Houston. The Texas was losing, Rice was losing, A&M was losing. I was the only winning program in the city. Can you imagine? It was on fire. I tell you a little story. We pulling up to play Grambling. Grambling is 7-0. We 6-1. We got to beat Grambling to go to the championship game. Coach, when we pulled up, man, it was a line wrapped around the stadium just to get in. Man, a tear came to my eye because I played at the university. You know what I mean? And we used to play at Jefferson Stadium, which was right down the street, 2 blocks down the street from the college. And I remember times and times, because I didn't play my first 3 years, times that I would walk back. I wouldn't get on the team bus. I would walk back and just tell myself that one day I'm going to turn this around. One day they're going to give me an opportunity to play. And when they finally gave me an opportunity to play, I broke every passing record in the school in 1 year, seasonal record. And I just remember those days. And see, then I played basketball as well, And so my parents couldn't fly me home for a week during Christmas break. Then the president, H.O. Spearman, and Big John, and some alumni, they would keep me on campus and make sure that I'm taken care of. And I'd be the only one. You see that movie with, what's my man that slapped the guy called Our Legends?
No, I haven't seen that movie, Coach.
And Will Smith in Our Legends. And he was the only one in the seat.
I think I'm familiar with the movie I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am Legend. And I used to be on campus and walk down and screaming down there, hey! So the thing about being at black colleges, we talk about the celebrities, and I know you do, and I know I'll kind of fight against it because I know different. You got to want to be there, Coach. You got to have some skin in the game to get them programs going because it's just so much happening in the city of Houston. You got to want to be there. You got to want to put in 24/7 a day. I don't care. You come there with a dump full of money and empty it right there in the damn maroon and gray street, and we can throw up all these buildings, man. But if ain't nobody in them buildings to gather these kids, man, and make sure they understand that it's been some great people walk through here. You're gonna keep on getting to doing the same thing. It's insanity,
Hey, we got one of our, first off, Coach, we got a couple questions I want to ask you that came from the comments. Would you go back to coach?
Under the right circumstances. Now that I seen when I went back to Texas Southern at the wrong time. I went back and I got the job before there was a president in place and before there was an athletic director in place. And all those guys came behind me. And I think my demise wasn't that they had something against me, because I started this off, I respect administration. It was just they didn't like my style, my swag, my style, or how I went about doing things, you know. So, you know, and I made some mistakes, you know, I'll be the first to say it. But you know, again, I've told you earlier too, I could pass any background check in the world, Craig, in the world.
Hey, Coach, we got a couple other comments. We got come to A&M. So that's an offer right there, Coach.
Yeah.
We got this gentleman asked, or I don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady, but I'll read it. It says, Rocky, you asked the TSU AD why Coach Cole was not considered for the vacant job. We cannot accept that he's not qualified. No, I have not. I have not talked to Mr. Granger or Dr. Granger about Coach Cole's prospects. You know, one of the things, you know, I think that these kind of selections, these high profile selections of head coaches and things of that nature, I honestly believe there should be some transparency, but I also believe that those administrators who are hired to make those decisions should be given the space and time to make the right decision, right? And because at the end of the day, right, I could want Coach Cole, you could want Coach Cole, but Dr. Granger and Coach Cole have to work together. And so they have to sit down and see eye to eye about what their philosophies are regarding winning, regarding what's going to be the mission of the university. There's so many other things you have to consider, not just we want Coach Cole, because again, Coach Cole is going to have to work with Dr. Granger and the administration, and and that's something that Dr. Granger would need to really look into before he would make a decision to hire Coach Cole.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier about when I go back to Texas Southern or any school for this matter, that I would like for the AD to be in place, to choose me, the president in place to choose me. Then that way they're not looking for things that happen in your program, but to help correct things in your program. And that's big, Coach. And when you look at the HBCU, coaching wise, it's a lot different from when I came through. The coaches was the leader of the campus. Your Eddie Robinsons, your W.C. Gordons, your Marino Castles. These guys was Otis Washington. These guys was big men on campus. You know what I'm saying? And they had a lot of freedom to do what they need to do to put a good product on the field.
Yeah. I think football is big business now, Coach.
Oh yeah.
And some of the concerns that Coach Chasm and Coach Robinson coached under, and some of the other greats, W.C. Gordon and Billy Joe, they didn't have the same pressures that exist now, I don't believe. Like, right. Coach, we're in a situation now that Willie Simmons has left his position voluntarily. That since I've been watching the SWAC the last 4 years, Coach, every coach has been replaced. Think about that, Coach. In just 4 short years, it's really less than 4 years, because I started really watching in spring of 2021. And now we're approaching, it's the winter. I mean, it's early 2024. And we're talking every coach has been replaced in the SWAC, Coach. Does that sound peculiar to you, or does that seem peculiar to you in a 4-year span that every coach has been replaced or will be replaced?
But that ought to say something about our league. We've turned into a copycat league. Back again when I was coming through, and I know it's different time, but coaches stayed. You know why they stayed, Coach? Because they won. They won. So look at our conference. Dion come through, win, he gone. I won. I was disqualified. Simmons won, he's dead. Fred McNair won. All the rest of them is passing through, Coach. You know what I'm saying? And we still trying to figure it out. So what does that tell me? Or what that should tell somebody that's making a selection? Man, we got to go get us a winning football coach. And in 3 years, he should be showing us that he's winning. You see what I'm saying? And if he's not winning, coach, and then I got to see some academics. I got to see some fundraising. I got to see something to say that this is a guy that's taking our program where it needs to be taken.
Now you are correct. EGLG corrected me. Is that Coach Maynard has not been replaced? You are correct. I stand corrected on that. Right. However, to that point, there's been several positions that are on their third coach since I've been watching. When you look at Southern, they're on their third coach.
Right.
Grambling, they're on their third coach. You know,
and that's unlike Grambling, coach. That's unlike Grambling. You know what I mean? Grambling don't do that. You know what I mean? And they hired Doug Williams after Eddie Robinson. Doug winning. Won national championship. They passed it on to Melvin Spears, won national championship. Passed it on to Fobbs, won championship. Then now we jumping around. You know what I'm saying?
And they went outside the family, so to speak, Coach.
Yes, they sure did.
And so we could go ahead and start discussing this, Coach, but I think this is a layered conversation that we're having, because first off, I want to ask you this, Coach. What was your thoughts when you heard that Willie Simmons was considering accepting the running back position at Duke?
I was excited, Coach. I was excited for him and his family because he deserves it. I'm being in this business, and this is a tough business. And loyalty only comes when you're winning and you're on the right side of politics, where you are. You could be winning and being on the wrong side of politics, and they'll get you out of there and put something on you, like some mojo on you. But Willie Simmons is getting out at the right time. It's nothing else he can do there. So it's time to start paying dividends. In his contract, his incentives was this, that, win the championship, blah, blah. But then the fine line was if we had the money for it. That come on, man. But lawyers can move on, presidents can move on for more money, teachers can move on for more money, but a coach got to stay where he at, and please the fan. But that same fan that's cheering for him at 12-1, when he go 1-12, that same fan is at the U-Haul place getting the truck to park in front of his house. But go ahead.
So Coach, what do you? Okay, so I got my own, thought about this, right? Because I'm an outsider coach. I'm somebody who didn't go to HBCU, though my daughter is attending Prairie View and doing quite well, might I add.
Yeah, I finally got the right thing, you and Keisha. But go ahead.
Yeah. Keisha went to HBCU. She went to Alabama A&M, so she.
Yeah, I know. She went to that country school.
Yeah. So my point was, Coach, is that people speak as if Willie Simmons going to Duke as if he's taking the white man's money. He's turning his way from his own people to go take the white man's money.
Hallelujah. Praise God.
Now, you spoke about this in a fashion of as if this is an elevation in some regard.
Ain't no
and
doubt.
me as a football fan, now you got to understand, I'm a football fan. I'm not a coach, right? I'm an armchair quarterback, as you always call me, Coach. As an armchair quarterback, I go, how can you go from the head coach at FAMU, black national champion, SWAC champion, a conference record of like 33-5 over his tenure at FAMU, in the SWAC, 23-2, 24-2, whatever. How can you go from all that, Coach, to being a running back coach, and that's considered an upgrade? Explain that to me. Explain it to me as if I was a fourth grader coach.
Okay. All right. Here we go. History tells us that back in the 60s, early 70s, blacks had to go to black schools and play for blacks, to be coached by blacks. There wasn't even black coaches, just in the 70s, coach. All right. We get to the 80s. How many games did Eddie Robinson win? He was the first
400 and
400. 400. Where he in his career, coach? Grant. Marino Castle, 300 wins. Where he in his career at? Southern University. Jay Gaithers, 300 winner. Where he in his college career? There. L.C. Cole, first coach to ever win an all-white conference, 2 years back-to-back, finished number 1 in the country. Where's he at? Clark University. And he's a guy that's what black folk done to him. Black folk don't keep L.C. Cole down. L.C. Cole used to coach in PWI school, and he was moving. He was moving. He had been to college after college after college and decided, let me go down to give me an opportunity to be a head coach. Okay? He get the opportunity, he wins championships, and all he has is politic problems. So
let me slow it down right quick, coach, because you didn't jump on it. So the loyalty that existed in previous generations, what you're alleging was not loyalty, it was a lack of opportunity, is what you're saying.
Both. If you won, we were loyal to you. Okay? But the opportunity definitely wasn't there.
Okay.
And guess what? It still ain't there. So I'm going to ask you, sis, and this happened in your era.
Okay.
It's been 2 African-American coaches that left a black college and got a PWI job. It's only been 2.
I know it's the guy at A&T.
Who?
I thought one of the A&T coaches left Washington or somebody, and he left. And
no, it was South Carolina State. He went to Wichita State. Willie Jeffries.
Willie Jeffries.
That was back in the 70s.
Okay.
And Deion Sanders. Now, the other guy was a white guy, which I don't count. He was at Alcorn State. I don't know, for some reason, I can't.
Hobson, Jay Hobson.
Jay Hobson, exactly, Jay Hobson. He's the third guy. So it ain't happening. When me and my brother was at Tennessee State, and we went to talk with the SEC commissioner, and I can't call his name now. He's not there anymore.
Is it Slide? It wasn't Slide, was it?
No, it was in the 90s.
Okay.
I'll look back on it. And we was in his office. And we were talking, and he knew about us, numbers we putting up, what we doing over there, yada, yada, yada. And he flat told us, you will never get a big PWI job. You might have to leave there to a smaller PWI school to be able to move up to where y'all want to go. Now, the coaches previous LC Cole, like John Groove, my memories is going. They would win OVC, coach, and then they would get a Boise State. You know what I mean? They would get a Bowling Green, a Kent State, some MAC school. We win OVC back to back, coach. You know what we got? A trip to Alabama State. And since then, all the championships Doug won, Melvin Spears, Rick Comagee, you know what I mean? Fred McNair, Rod Broadway,
Broderick Fobbs.
Ain't nobody ringing no phone, coach. Jenkins, I forgot Brian Jenkins down at Bethune-Cookman. Shit, he won 4-5 championships. He got one interview at a PWI school. So back to Willie Simmons. Man, you got to go. If that's your dream, for one, you deserve it. 2, if they're gonna make your like much better with the pay. I'm getting $500,000, coach. Do the math, somebody. $500, $50,000 in 10 years. That's 500,000, something like that. Come on, coach. I mean, that's a lot of jack. All right, a month. All right, he getting a car. The facilities is off the chain. You know, keys, private jet if he needs the private jet. He get a car when he get there. He get a housing lounge. And of course, the facilities is unbelievable. And everybody around there is about football. The janitor, the secretary. I've been there. I coached at the University of Cincinnati. They are there to win football. Everybody is on the same key and the same page. Ain't nobody pulling no punches or getting out of line. I'm sorry.
Coach, he's out there pursuing his dream.
Yes.
His dream to coach at the highest level, to be a Power 5 football coach.
He will not get it being the head coach at Florida A&M. And let me say this too, before I lose my train of thought. This is what I asked Willie Simmons, and this was when I talked to African American coaches on that level. Bring somebody with you. Invite somebody up. You make $500,000 now. Bring your 2-3 coaches up. Put them in a hotel for a week. Let them shadow. Come in, get to meet the white guys. I tell you, Lou Holtz. You know Lou Holtz? Remember Lou Holtz?
Absolutely.
Coach at Notre Dame, one of the winningest coaches. I remember he came to a BCA meeting and said, "Let me tell y'all something in here. We're all black guys. Ain't nobody in here gonna get somebody a job on the PWI level. So start going out, mingling with these guys." He said, "Here's the other thing. A head coach is gonna have 9 coaches. Out of them 9 coaches, by the end of the year, he gonna find out that he only given 4 of them responsibilities, major responsibilities, because those 4 want to become coordinators and head coaches." But he told us back then, about ain't none of y'all in here gonna get nobody no head job. Coach, and that lives to be true. I've done everything that they've said done about a black college, right? But that put me in the minority around black coaches. I cut my hair. I'm well dressed. I'm well spoken. I've been to clinics. I've been successful on the football field. But this is our thinking. When I come around, oh man, he's chasing, man. He's chasing. He don't act like us. His swag is different. And I'm saying that Willie Simmons needs to go where he can go so he don't run into the same old thing. Because I guarantee you, if Willie Simmons turn 1 and 12, them same people holler, "Don't go," I'll be ready to kick him out to death.
Hey, you say you mean they would actually run Willie Shotgun Simmons out of Tallahassee for losing?
They're getting gas. They say, "Can I fill your tank up just to get the heck out of here, man?" Them, they like that. I mean, fans are like that. I've seen it, Coach.
What would you say to the FAMU alumni, FAMU loyalists, Tallahassee community, to say to Willie, Willie, you can build something special here. You can do something here, Willie, that's never been done in the history of black college football. You can build a juggernaut with the location and proximity to elite talent.
Do you know that FAMU is the only black school to win a national title in the FCS? Did you know that?
Yes, I did. 1978, if I'm not mistaken.
Coach Rudy won it. And what you should have done and could have done was put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is. If you don't put your money where your mouth is, all you guys doing is being selfish. Some of you guys that is not pushing him and urging him on. Once again, my thing, Rocky, is for the mass. Willie, when you get up there and get an opportunity and a position open on Duke's staff, ask the head man, "Hey, can we bring another African American along? Each one teach one. Each one bring one." And then Coach, if we get more people up there, then it would be an even playing field.
Hey, Coach Cole, we got a very special guest.
Okay.
And again, I'm a do something I usually don't do. I'm gonna play some copyrighted music because this is it's just meaningful. Oh, the reason why I'm playing that is if y'all don't know, that's Willie Simmons' theme song right there. That's his hype song, and I brought in none other than the Bishop himself.
Coach Cole, Happy New Year. How are you doing?
Man, look, boy, I'm blessed, man. I woke up and it didn't rain on me. Walked out to my car, and I had a job to go to, Coach. And my honey kissed me before I left. But that's all I need, Coach.
Well, that's it. Now, Coach, I'm going to tell you, you were talking about the SEC commissioner. I believe you were talking about Roy Kramer, who was the commissioner during that time. Yeah, and what was interesting about Roy Kramer, he was one of the first people that broached Ole Miss about, hey, y'all need to stop waving that rebel flag. You're messing with our money. So he was kind of actually a forward-thinking white guy. He probably behind closed door, he probably told you a lot of things that he wanted to change. And then the next guy that came by, because it wasn't Sly, it was the guy from Vanderbilt, and his name will come to me in a second, that took over after Kramer and stuff like that. But anyway, I just wanted to say that's who that was, because when you said, I knew exactly what you was talking about.
You're exactly right, man. I mean, because we wanted to make some moves, man. We felt that after we won that second championship at Tennessee State, man, we ready for one of them PWIs to give us a call. We ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean? And it never came. And then, we stayed Black College, and here come all this mess, man. It's just mess for over 20 years. And today, me and my brother, really at the end of the day, is blackballed from HBCU.
Right.
Now, Steve, you don't look like you've been crying. I don't see any tears in your eyes. I don't see a lot of mean tweets coming from your ex account. Just tell me how to, at this point, 2 years ago, it was about to be a riot, and they were going to march all the way to Colorado and cause an uprising because that other guy left Jackson State. You guys are being what I would consider rather dignified, pragmatic, respectful. I've seen nothing but gratitude expressed toward Coach Simmons. Is that a FAMU thing or what's going on? Can you explain what's going on?
Well, okay. So let me do the jokes first, and then I'm gonna be serious for a second. The joke part of it is there's a reason why we brag different. See, we don't let nobody shake us. You're not gonna see us having these mass meetings, and it's gonna be all right videos, and the Mississippi Mass Choir and the preachers coming out on Lynch Street with the doors open. It's not none of that's gonna be. We don't roll like that. So that brag different is something that's really serious. People don't understand that. That's a real thing. We were talking noise when we were 1-10. That's how we move. So if you think that we're going to give anybody, especially Jack State people, the attention that they want, that we're going to be doing like they did, no, it's not going to happen. So now here's the serious part. When Deion went out, first of all, let's talk about a couple of Deion disrespected Jackson State. Totally. He disrespected Jackson State. His family disrespected Jackson State. He let the white people disrespect Jackson State. So what are Jackson State people supposed to feel like? You believed in this man. This man said he was coming in for a mission, and then he loses 2 Celebration Bowls. And both of them, it was clear that he wasn't focused, especially the last one. So what does Willie do? Willie, let's play this timeline out. Let's say Willie knew he was going to Duke, right? He knew before the Celebration Bowl. You didn't hear anything about it. You didn't hear him talking about jumping on a plane after the SWAC championship, going up to Durham, talking about I'm bringing luggage and this Louis. He stayed focused to the cause. So by him staying focused to the cause, he actually won a championship, right? You can't be mad at him. He actually won a championship. So if he looks at other opportunities, and then what does he do? He quietly goes about his business. He lets players know, hey, I have an opportunity. He goes to the alumni, and this is where the thing, you got different stories, match or not match. But the bottom line is when he said, finally, I'm leaving, he sat out as a man and said, let me tell you why I'm leaving. And this is why FAMU people were cool with this. Because he said, listen, I have accomplished what I need to accomplish at FAMU. We got them back on track, but my goal is to be a Power 5 coach. Well, guess what? You can't be a Power 5 coach at FAMU.
No.
You can't. So if you sit back and explain to me what your goals are and you're honest with me, unlike Deion was not honest to Jackson State people. Deion came and said, we're coming to change the game, and we're going to do this. Instead of him saying, hey, listen, I want to be here, then I want to go to Power 5. Which we all knew. Coach, we all knew the reality people. But you got to understand something. People from Jackson have a lot of pride. And let me tell you something about people from Jackson and Mississippi. You don't care about nothing white down there. You believe black people can do what they can do. So if somebody comes and tells you that everything has been preached because you're not going to get any help from the white power structure, and you get this mythical figure that comes in and says, we're going to do these things, and you actually bring the #1 recruit in, you got all this TV stuff, you say, man, we could really change the game. And then you go and you take that all away, then that's why they feel like this. I'm not mad at that. I'm from Jackson. I was mad. I was upset because I didn't like the way he did it. Because, first of all, he didn't even tell those people thank you. He jumped on a plane, Rocket. They won the SWAC championship, and that man was so quick that he couldn't even raise the trophy because he was so ready to get on a plane. Okay? So that's it. So that's the reason why. But no, FAMU people, I'm just telling Jackson, y'all can post all the memes, all the time. Y'all look foolish because I'm gonna tell you, here's the joke I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all can say y'all coach left and our coach left, but when our coach left, he left with a championship.
See, the same thing happened to Jackson State back in the late 90s when Carson left, and then they got away in harder clock named Coach Bell from the outside. That's when that program sunk down. Then they went and got Comegy. Comegy took him to 4 championships, Rocky. He won 1, and they got rid of him. And then they brought another PWI guy in there. 2, and then they brought an old guy in there. They said Harold Jackson.
Yeah, Harold Jackson. Yeah, that was it.
Who in the hell knew Harold Jackson, who played in the early 70s, Coach? That program went straight to the bottom. Straight to the bottom. So, we can't, and I tell you, Eddie Robinson said this on a SWAC tour. You know about the SWAC tour, Mr. Campbell.
Yep.
All the coaches and players.
All the coaches went on. Yep.
We drive, and he said, what's going to happen to this conference is when we start putting people in control that don't know what to do. And that's what's happening to us, Coach. And I don't mean to down anybody, man. But we like I said, Cam, last 20 championship coaching from 2000 to now are on the shelf. They're not even coaching nowhere, just about. 90% of them is on the shelf. And that ain't how you build. You don't have nobody to teach. If all your good shepherds are gone, you out there with boys trying to run the flock.
Well, Coach, this is the thing I told somebody. If you went like compared to the SEC or the Big Ten, and I said, hey, Coach Cole, tell me what defensive coordinator you would say could be the next head coach. What offensive OC could you say? It would be hard. Right. You might be able to think about it, but you couldn't just rattle it off. And we're not, to your point, we're not starting these guys and setting them up where we can see the next great coach coming up, where we're preparing the OCs and the DCs and things like that, because we're moving so fast and we're going on these waves and things like that. Instead of saying, you know what?
What the media says.
What the media says. Instead of building these guys up, giving them room to grow, understanding that we're not the SEC, we're not the Big Ten, and you're going to have to take some lumps, and you're going to have to let these young coaches grow into these positions
and stop
and be because
yeah. But I mean, look at Nick Saban. How many careers he don't resurrected, Coach? Shit, in the top 10, what? Georgia, A&M, Texas. He just hired
Ole Miss
linebacker coach. Yeah, Ole Miss.
Loxley and Maryland
coach that was still in the signal scandal. He just hired that guy.
Well, again, you got to understand. I come from outside, paying close attention for 30, 40 years of my life to NCAA college football. And one thing I understood about them, it was always about winning for some schools. I'll say some schools.
Or coach, and I don't mean to interrupt, or a good coach, because something has happened in his career. Is he a good coach? You know what I mean? Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no. What I'm saying is it's always about winning, right?
Right.
And however, the more you win, the more the fan base takes winning for granted, in my opinion, a lot of times, right? Okay, and so what you have is when you win, you win big. The fan base takes winning for granted, and they don't have the patience for a guy who built them up to winning, right? And then I'll bring up a guy, Art Briles, who really brought Baylor to prominence of being a national power, right? He goes through a situation, right, that the entire school is exposed, not just the football team. It makes them so uncomfortable, they decide to get rid of him, right? And for the most part, they've been reeling ever since, right? And I know this, Coach, if it's one thing I know, winning football coaches, if you're not at University of Texas or Texas A&M or Oklahoma, they hard to find. I don't know why those programs can find them, but at other schools, winning coaches are really hard to find.
Well, Oklahoma State though kept Mike for what he been there like now, 24, 25 years.
Yeah, Gundy's been there. Yeah, Gundy's been there for over 20 years, but and they know to keep him.
Saban has made his own choice. You know what I mean? Dembo at Clemson. You know, and these guys are in the championship every year. Coaches, look at all the ages of all the championship coaches, or the coaches is in the top. All of them are 55, 60, 65, going on 70. They've been around, Coach. They've been around. And we turn it over in the SWAC. That you just was talking earlier about how many coaches they don't ran through.
What I was trying to move to is that those PWIs though relinquish the profile of the school to the head football coach. They do that as a means to continue to fundraise, build facilities, do all those things to make their colleges better. They defer to Saban as the face of the university, right? For whatever reason, right? I don't see where HBCU organizations embrace that as this coach being the face of their program, the way that you know PWIs have.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.